ndowooza z'abantu about ebijambiya ebigenda maaso mu Buganda ettemu ery'ekika ekyawaggulu ennyo kuba omuntu akutise ejjambiya aba akuttidde mu bulumi bw'amaanyi nnyo naye abantu munange si basiru abantu balaba ekigenda mu maaso era endowooza baziwa only that endowooza ezimu baziwera ku ma TV ezimu ku ma radio ezimu ku social media bamu ne bakuba amasimu naye waliwo abawandiika obuwandiisi comments ez'enjawulo ne bateekayo article ku Daily Monitor oli n'akola comment post ku Facebook oli n'akola comments. So abantu those comments was over those ideas over opinions views was collecting munange zina eddoboozi lyeziri mu kusindika era actually yesterday nabuziza nange ekibuzo kyekimu. It was just a simple question. What is your take on the Bijambiya attacks in Masaka? And you are going to be shocked because 99.9% are speaking in the same language. They are saying the same thing. They are all giving one answer. And here is the answer. You know, this is what people are saying. Different people, sigamanti no bali wamu nti obaba region yemu no. They are people of different, tribes, people of different classes, but all having the same kind of answer to the Bijambiya attacks in the Buganda region. Now, someone, Kawesi, Akogamanti, I remember the same situation happened in our district in Busiro North, where unknown thugs slaughtered the people in Ichinywamusai, Debako, under government watch. It's we civilians who had to patrol our communities at night. Same issues happened in Nansana, in Tebe. Moreover, State House area, we needed to wake up. Now, there is a point in this comment, or in this view, that for them, they had to patrol their own communities. Nangwa no video ngamba nti bagana nga aberuwengo be Masaka. Man, I believe we shouldn't wait for Museveni and whatsoever okujja ku intervening into this. Family ezirimu abavubuka engwanguli nze ngamba zandyekozeemu omulimu ne basindika y'abavubuka nga abavubuka artist babiri oba omu kuzi family ezina abavubuka abalina embavu communities ne tuze patrollingira. That is one other solution. Yeah, kuba wetunalinda nti nno banasajja bajje babeko kibakola, it's not their priority. Omwami wano mulala agamba actually mchala nti I think it is one of those stints that Museveni usually puts up to set people up. When he wants to shed blood, he will manipulate you into a trap. He wants people in Masaka to think of guerrilla war, then he will come in hard on them. Shame upon him. The Masakanians will not fall for that trap. Also, when Museveni does not get support in a region, he punishes you. So Masaka brethren mwebereremu. Someone else says, that's a favor, Karim, it is a state operation. The same happened during 1970s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. All engineered by this. The silent killer dictator, you said, Lutaiwa Isula, and his gorilla henchmen. These are people's views. Deborah Nabili Nakugama, I remember Teacher Lumbuye talking about the pangas that were bought by government that are organizing a genocide after elections. Another question, do they check those bodies if they got no missing body organs inside them? But we truly need God's intervention. Muyomba isimana kugamba Muhoza and Museveni diversion for poisoning Lokech and the kidnapping of Rumbuye Fred Kajiwi. So they had to create a diversion and still by killing, pray for our country. Actually, there is a point here whereby Muyomba is mentioning about our comrade Rumbuye. You all know he is still missing. And ever since he was kidnapped or arrested, actually no one knows. No one has ever spoken to him. No one has ever seen him. All I can say, let's continue pushing. Tuongere okumubanja, tuongere take out pressure. Let's continue doing whatever we can to make sure that our brother resurfaces. Twagala abule nga John Bosco Kibalama. In brief, tetuzikiza about our comrade Fred Rumbuye. Tetuzikiza on a daily basis. Let's keep mounting pressure. Let's keep mounting pressure. So, Winnie nakugamba nti Fred Rumbuye, okay, yeah, ayogera ku nsonga yemu. Then Edward nakugamba, as Ugandans cannot help each other, Therefore, I would suggest to seek help from colonial powers. Okay. Someone else says reducing people to get space for Afghanistan. All right. Now, Nomulana government, I blame the police. This looks like an inside job in forces. If they managed to trace the guy pronounced president dead, why can't they trace the machete butcher? Yet they even first call the victims to inform that they are coming. And other thing, at what time do they kill? It's curfew time. And mind you, people said they move with someone having a weapon, rifle. You see? Now, Fatima says, all I'm saying is NRM needed to stop killing Ugandans. Please, we already know what's happening there. At this point, my advice to the people of Masaka is that they have to prepare to defend themselves when someone comes into their house. I don't think they should just sit there, let somebody killed, then in their house. It's called self-defense. It's not being violent. There is a difference between self-defense and being violent. Okay? So, yeah, Fatima Gamant abantu baino kwe defending a bow. They have to do what's called self-defense. That is the point as well, because Nayate on the other side, these guys they are well equipped. Bajjana enkumbi, bajjana obubazi, bajjana amajambiya, bajjana amafuta nga basobola okwokya ennyumba. Ma, kiri deadly nnyo, kiri deadly. Akomugisha Temples akugambye nti the fools think they can finish one tribe at a go. They never learned from Rwanda genocide of Tutsi and the Hutus. Akatengo kaba kwata nnyo. These are people's views, and I want you to get it right. These are people's views. If you want to get most of these, you go to our Facebook page. You will see in the comment section. There are very many, over 500 of them. People still typing, giving in their views about the Bijambiya attacks in Uganda. Mumbeji Akugambi analysts, they fight for themselves. Museveni has been and is still killing after he will promote the dead bodies of the participants with the ranks. Juma Nakugamba anti Mr. Museveni, don't take us back to Chitabantu of 1980s. These were your bush tactics. That's why many people lost their dear ones in the well. Nobody to blame a failed state. Nobody to blame a failed state of Museveni, and Museveni's Muguns are responsible. Can you imagine? Just recently I saw a heavy deployment to stop donations taken to Nakaseke Hospital. Bullets and tear gas to disperse the good-hearted people. Mbu tebamanyi ba Bijambiya. Use all efforts of the like to stop Bijambiya. Otherwise, mutufuze bubi nnyo. Yes, Juma is reminding you of the recently concluded failed donation that was initiated by our First Lady, Babi Tongo Chagulanyi. She was denied to carry out that event. She had actually gone to donate beds, nets, blankets, clothes, lots of things to the teenage mothers and pregnant women of Chikumulo Health Center 3, that is in Nakaseke district. Amasasi ganyoka, tear gas nakubibwa, banji balumizibwa. Nenga bali ku kintu kimu busimanyi COVID. Naye ate just one day after, ne bagenda okuzikaloka nga bali mu Southerns. Ne webuuza which one is which. So, he's saying if they can do that, they should also employ the same force they use to brutalize opposition politicians. They should employ the same force in Masaka to capture the Bijambiya attacks. Anyway, there was mulaba abantu engeri gye balowoozaamu era engeri ensonga bongere gye bagitwalamu. Abantu ng'abaana abamu tebagenda kusobola kuba masimu ku radio, tebagenda kusobola kuba masimu ku live shows ezibeera ku Facebook, tebagenda kusobola kuba masimu ku zi TVs, ne bagenda kukozesa opportunity gye balina nga basanze posts nga zino. Bo bennyini bakole ki? Batayipinge akugirire kyawulira nti kye kituufu. And I'm also encouraging you now kanyini ali mu kula video eno, in the comment section below, give us your opinion about the Bijambiya attacks in Uganda. And actually, you can also provide the solutions, because we all need this madness to come to an end. Yeah, as soon as yesterday, Henry says Museveni is the Bijambiya, trying to instill fear and making revenge to the public because he knows it very well that Ugandans never voted for him. Wow. Angela Angeloxi Dilemma Angel says, I think there Bobiwine can help us because he will go to Masaka and boom armies will follow him because everywhere he goes they put armies and I think those people will be arrested. You see, they know people that the only preoccupation of this regime is to suppress voices of dissent. And you can read it from her comment that once Bobiwine steps a foot in Masaka, they are going to follow him with the all tanks, with all armies, with all sorts of security personnel. And she's suggesting that maybe Bobiwine should go to Masaka and the all security will also follow him up there. Maybe in the due course it will help to, those guys to be arrested that are carrying out all these atrocities. Now, someone else says, and this one is the Japanese Kao Baka, deep in our hearts we know there is a pattern, there is a region, and simply the absence of guns. Pattern every after police goes under heavy criticism and loses trust and the desire from the people. This happens. One thing I don't understand, how can one man use the same tactics for 35 years and still people start wondering what's the intention? That's the price we pay, and we will continue to pay until we mature in thinking and stop pretending naive as if we are children. Ugandans, whether NRM or the rest, know what's happening, but we are trying to pretend that we don't know, thinking that saves us, but we are simply postponing the apocalypse. And actually he is very right. You guys know the truth. You know the mastermind of all this entire Bijambiya attacks. You know why they are happening, but some people just pretend not to know. But inside their hearts, they know. Just like Japanese are saying that deep in our hearts, we know. We just pretend, thinking that it will save us, but we know. That's what this gentleman is saying. Someone else says, on his Zwanga Deba. All these views are coming from people of different tribes, different classes, different no, these are views from different people across this country, which has more than 52 tribes. Yeah, Uganda is composed of more than 52 tribes. So these views are coming from all that set of or that demographics. A government state sponsored to create fear and swindle more money in security. We have seen it before in Entebbe and in Nansana. Tamalena Kugamba, it is planned massacre. The government is very aware. If they can't deploy to fight it, moreover, a place with the military barracks. Now, okay, let me now identify the longer comments, and because I don't want to take much time about this, you can find more of this on the Facebook page Muwonge Okulaba, how people's reactions, people's views about this entire Bijambiya thing. Walusimbi Arukam akugambye nti these border guys, sometimes I don't want to listen to them, but this guy today was like, Museveni during the Kalulu season was able to deploy the army from all corners, and even Mbu bought machineries and shot to kill innocent Ugandans. Why wouldn't he deploy the same force to do the Bijambiya boy? He concluded Mbu, Museveni, his people may be behind the Bijambiya stuff, and for the first time I picked sense from a talk with a border man. Let me identify another one. These are people's views. Marion akugamba nti the psychopath that are still thinking Museveni is with them they must reconsider their actions. The psychopathic refugees in our country, you stay in Uganda, you must... what is this? The psychopathic refugees in our country, you stay in Uganda, you must show respect to Ugandans, no matter what Museveni has asked you to do. Normal Ugandans are already united, but not refugee Ugandans. Hey, anyway, I don't get this entire thing, but maybe it's trying to say that these guys who are doing this should respect Ugandans. They are refugees and they should respect Ugandans. Let me identify another one here. These are people's views, just like I told you. Now, winzo tu endowooza yo. Kibuka Gami, I'm sure the government can and would have stopped this if it's taken as a concern and priority. So I remain in questions about the same too. Again, this is happening in a few time, which starts at 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. During this time, no movements are permitted. Where do these people operate alongside Masaka police stations and the Kasajagirwa Army Barracks? So many questions in the same. When Agambo Yinimu Yabikola to cause fear among the citizens. Why only Masaka? Sharif and Agamba Rumbia told us everything before Ugandans unite. Okay, then let me see. Henry Pio says, in Iteso, we formed the Arrow. In Iteso, we formed the Arrow Boys. Go to fight the so-called Ghost Con. The same Masaka people can do to organize and train youth in every homestead to tackle the Musevenism tribal cleansing in conjunction with the defense in the chair of the area. A whistle blow means danger in all the trained youth rush. To that, home and whoever is to be, man, on Nevigambo Yabi shortening new, I'm not getting his point. But what basically is saying that for them they trained the boys and then they fought the ghost, the Konyi ghost, and is advising the same people in Masaka to do the same. Who else here? Before I close this, people's view about Bijambiya in the Buganda region. But you've seen, in most 100%, have not seen anyone saying that people are not ngabana weda bagamba musimanyi byataka musimanyi ba idlers bavubuka batalina mirimu banyiba njaga bichi. I've not seen anyone. Ate womanya ngeri abantu batunulira biche bigenda mu maaso. Ne ba sensing and processing and balaba ne baga okay. Ne bali rating akuyibaddewo ebiriwo ne bisolo kuberanga bigenda mu maaso. So obalabye abantu kiki bagaye bakugambye ti these are state sponsored killings. Abantu batyo bakugamba. That's how people are reacting to this entire thing. These are people's views. They are not mine. Joshua Nagamba JB, it's so sad. If it was Mr. President Kyagulanyi going there, sincerely we would see what is meant by deployment. And that's what. Kutesa government, I discovered that Uganda is full of different groups which are seriously need power. Some uses such methods for long ago. Some uses such methods for long ago. So I beg Ugandans to continue trusting the only reliable and organized system of national platform, which will erase all such pains from the people of Uganda. Okay. Museveni is the one killing people. They know their acts, and they are the ones terrorizing people day by day. Man, abantu. So, abadabuza chichi causing a Bijambiya. You can pick a leaf from the people's views because these are comments from people. They are not mechanically engineered. No, these are real people commenting about this entire issue of Bijambiya. Actually, once out is gundi ebigambo biri mu scrollinga ye statement okuveere wa president wa Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert about the same thing. I don't know obanji ina ko one kamalo kulaba. But I think njina Banjirina Kandabo Banjirina. Yeah, Banjirina one na jikozemu copy and paste on our page. President Yakugambe, that is Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert, agambye nti my thoughts today are with the residents of Masaka sub-region, where the mystery murder of residents by unknown assailants has resumed 2 years after a similar spate of serial killings in the same area. At the time of writing this post, press reports put the number of deceased victims at 24 in a period of less than a month. I am informed that 2 more residents were murdered just last night. Among the victims is an 87-year-old Delisa Mukasa, a resident of Kikungwe village, Masaka City, and a 6-year-old child, only identified as Barbara, who was murdered on Friday with the grandmother Joyce Nantale, over 64 years, in Bwasa village, Urengo district. Muzei Delisa was found outside his house, lying in a pool of blood, after having been hacked with a hoe that was then abandoned beside his body. It is intriguing that the assailants targeted the most vulnerable residents and seem to be only after their victim's life and nothing else. Indeed, the media quoted Muzei Delisa's neighbors as saying that he was not a rich man and the killers took nothing from his house. Around 2 years ago, Dictator Museveni held a televised address and boasted that he had wiped out the masterminds of similar serial killings that occurred in the region in 2018, referring to them as stupid pigs. Museveni specifically mentioned Kidawalime and Galiwango as having masterminded the attacks at the time, and assured the country that they had been permanently defeated. In June this year, General Museveni paraded before the nation a one Reste Nachambade, who narrated a version of events leading to the death of Kidawalime that contradicted an account she gave to the media more than 2 years ago. In April 2018, Nachambade claimed that Kidawalime broke into her house as she was sleeping and started demanding for money before she raised an alarm, which attracted neighbors who killed Kidawalime. In June this year, she claimed that Kidawalime entered her house and attempted to force himself onto her, but she requested him to first let her wash her dirty feet, to which he arrogantly agreed and even had the luxury of taking naked photos of her while she showered. In April 2019, an intelligence report confirmed by the then ISO director, General Kakabagenda, implicated the same Reste Nachambade and a police officer as having been part of the team behind the serial murders. The ISO report claimed that Nachambade and the police officer had caused the killing of Kidawalime to hide their own culpability in the heinous crimes after conniving him to escape from court, where he was being tried for serial murders. An interesting turn of events saw Nachambade being recruited as a nurse into Museveni's private militia, the SFC, while Kakabagenda was removed from ISO. Comrades, it is apparent that in order to hide its own incompetence in stopping the serial murders, the regime either deliberately exaggerated its role in curbing the first wave or has not been entirely truthful about its investigations into the motive and the criminals behind the murders. At best, the regime is as clueless about these murders as we are. At worst, it exploited them for political capital by giving citizens false assurances that it had netted the suspects behind them, when in fact it either had not or had shielded some of them. This conduct is consistent with the regime's favorite song of "We brought peace and sleep," when the reality is quite different, as we all know. I sympathize with the residents of Masaka sub-region about the loss of your loved ones. I implore you, and indeed all of us, to remain vigilant and do the best we can to protect ourselves, because we are on our own. A regime that actively hides the truth about citizens' mysterious death cannot be trusted by those who are still alive. That is why we are removing a dictator. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, President, National Unity Platform. That is the statement about these Bijambiya attacks and murders in the Buganda region. And actually, I will also have to stop there. Enga, a statement okuva eri wa President waffe Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Video eno osobola gisharinga n'omulala n'asobola okulaba ki ekigenda mu maaso, ki abantu kye balowooza, na ki President kyayogedde ku nsonga eno. Alright guys, have the best of the time wherever you are. Peace and love.